Welcome to The Remedy with Dr. Rani Whitfield, where medicine, music, literacy, and other hot topics meet. I'm your host, Dr. Rani Whitfield, aka the Hip Hop Doc, and today we're diving into a topic that everybody seems to have an opinion on: supplements. Some folks swear by them, some think they're a waste of money, and the truth is somewhere in between. We're talking about what works, what's overhyped, and how to tell the difference. I'll also share what's in my own supplement stack, break down the science of longevity, including rapamycin and caloric restriction. And of course, I'll let you know what I'm reading and what I'm vibing to this week. So let's get into it. The supplement industry, AKA the Wild West of wellness. Let's start with the industry itself. Most people assume supplements are regulated like prescription drugs. Big mistake. In reality, the FDA doesn't require supplement companies to prove their products are safe or effective before they hit the store shelves. That means just because something is labeled natural or clinically tested doesn't mean it's been properly vetted. Here's a crazy example. Oxylete Pro was a fat-burning supplement linked to cases of severe liver failure and even deaths before it was pulled from shelves. And Vigor 25, marketed as an all-natural male enhancement pill, was secretly loaded with Viagra, so without warning on the label, and that could cause heart attacks or strokes. So how do you protect yourself? Look for third-party testing. Certifications like USP, NSF, or Informed Sports means the product has been independently verified. Research the brands. Stick with companies that have a solid reputation. Brands like Thorne, Pure Encapsulations, Nordic Naturals, and Now Foods. They take quality control seriously. Read the labels, read the ingredients. If you can't pronounce it, don't recognize it, or it sounds like something you should clean your house with, do some digging before you put it into your body. Now I'm going to share with you my supplement stack, what I take and why. Now, I'm not against supplements. I take a few myself, but I take ones that have solid research behind them, not just the hype. Here's what's in my personal stack and why I trust these choices. Omega-3 fish oils. You already know, I'm from Louisiana, so let's get this straight. Catfish is not high in omega-3s no matter how you fry it. But fatty fish like salmon, sardines, and mackerel, that's the good stuff. Omega-3s are essential for heart health, brain function, and reducing inflammation. They've even been linked to a lower risk of Alzheimer's disease and heart disease. When you're shopping for fish oil, make sure it's third-party tested to avoid mercury contamination and aim for at least 1,000 milligrams of combined EPA and DHA per serving. Creatine, and I personally take creatine gummies. Creatine isn't just for bodybuilders. It's one of the most well-researched supplements out there. It helps with muscle performance, brain function, and even memory. A lot of people think you need to do a loading phase where you take a ton of creatine at first. Not true. Just take 5 grams daily, stay consistent, and you're good. Magnesium glycinate. That is also in my stack. Magnesium is involved in over 300 processes in the body. Muscle function, sleep, blood pressure reduction, you name it. If you deal with muscle cramps or poor sleep, you might be low on magnesium, especially if you are stressed or eat a lot of processed foods. I take magnesium glycinate because it is one of the most absorbable forms of magnesium and doesn't mess with your stomach like some of the other types. This one files under the radar. L-threonine is a key player in collagen production, liver function, and immune health. It also helps maintain strong joints, skin, and connective tissue. So if you're active or aging, which all of us are, this is a solid pick. Vitamin D3 plus K2. Many African Americans, especially African American women, are low in vitamin D. If you're low on vitamin D, you're not alone. Most people are, especially in the winter. Vitamin D helps your body absorb calcium, but here's the key. Without vitamin K2, that calcium can end up in your arteries instead of your bones, hardening those arteries and potentially increasing the risk of heart disease. That's why I combine vitamin D3 with K2. I aim for 2,000 to 5,000 international units of vitamin D3 per day and 90 to 120 micrograms of K2 daily to keep that calcium where it belongs. And I do take a multivitamin. Even with a great diet, gaps happen. I take a methylated multivitamin to cover the basics and ensure better absorption of the key nutrients. Whey protein, particularly whey protein isolates. This one is pretty simple. If you're working out and trying to hit your protein goals, whey protein is an easy way to help. I go for grass-fed, minimally processed options with no artificial sweeteners. Now, let's get into the longevity, myth versus medicine. Can we live longer? Can we have that fountain of youth? Everybody wants to know the secret to living longer, but the truth is there is no magic pill. What's backed by science? Omega-3s, vitamin D, magnesium, all have the potential to lower disease risk and improve overall health. Coenzyme Q10, spermidine may help with mitochondrial function, those powerhouses of our cells, and cellular repair. What's overhyped is NMN and resveratrol, popular in biohacking circles, but human studies are still inconclusive. Now, there's two things I want to talk about that maybe you haven't heard of. If you have, you're on the cutting edge. Rapamycin and caloric restriction. These are not just buzzwords in the biohacking world. They are backed by decades of research on how we can slow aging at the cellular level. So what is rapamycin and how does it work? Rapamycin was originally discovered in the soil of Easter Island and was first developed as an immunosuppressant to prevent organ transplant rejection. In the process, researchers discovered that it had an anti-aging property through its effects on pathways called mTOR. mTOR is let's think of it as a cellular growth regulator. When it's active, your body prioritizes growth and reproduction, but when it's suppressed, like through fasting or the use of rapamycin, the body shifts gears into repair and longevity mode. Here is what we know. In animal studies, rapamycin has consistently extended lifespans, sometimes by as much as 30% in mice. It enhances autophagy, the body's process of breaking down and recycling damaged cells, which is crucial for preventing diseases like cancer and Alzheimer's disease. It reduces inflammation, a key driver of aging-related diseases. Sounds amazing, right? But before you go looking for a rapamycin prescription, here's the catch. It's still experimental in humans for longevity purposes. Some early human trials show promising results like improved immune function and reduced biological aging markers, but long-term effects are still unknown. Rapamycin can suppress the immune system if not dosed correctly, which means higher susceptibility to infection if misused. Now, the OG longevity hack, caloric restriction. If rapamycin mimics some effects of fasting, what happens when you actually reduce calories over the long term? Studies show dating back to the 1930s that caloric restriction, eating 10 to 40% fewer calories than usual while maintaining proper nutrition, is one of the most effective ways to extend lifespan in animals. Here's why. It reduces oxidative stress. Fewer calories mean fewer free radicals that can damage cells. Lowers inflammation. Many chronic diseases are driven by inflammation, and caloric restriction helps keep it in check. Improves insulin sensitivity, a major factor in preventing diabetes and metabolic disorders. Enhances autophagy. Just like rapamycin, caloric restriction pushes your body into repair mode. But let's keep it real. Most people don't want to drastically cut their calories every day for life. That's why many researchers suggest that intermittent fasting or time-restricted eating could provide similar benefits without the extreme sacrifice. Intermittent fasting allows the body to get periods of repair and lower insulin levels. Periodic fasting or fasting mimicking diets can trigger many of the same longevity benefits without daily restriction. Rapamycin is still in the experimental phase for longevity, but caloric restriction and intermittent fasting have real-world, human-backed benefits for metabolic health and aging. If you're curious about rapamycin, consult a doctor first. If you want to dip your toes in longevity science without medications, start with intermittent fasting, whole foods, and exercise. It's free, it's safe, and it's effective. At the end of the day, it's about sustainable habits that promote a longer, healthier life. Y'all know I always like to end with what I'm reading and what I'm listening to. I'm currently reading Cry Like a Man by Jason Wilson. This book is powerful. Jason Wilson digs deep into emotional struggles of Black men breaking down toxic masculinity and showing why vulnerability is a strength, not a weakness. If you're raising boys, mentoring young men, or just want to understand yourself better, this is a must read. What am I listening to? Jodeci, The Show, The After Party, The Hotel. This album is timeless. Jodeci was ahead of their game, blending gospel and influential vocals with Broad Street energy. This project gave us classics like Freaking You and Love You for Life. This is what we call real R&B, the R&B that you actually felt. Family, remember, supplements are just tools. The real foundation of health is your lifestyle, diet, exercise, sleep, and stress management. And remember, we are born looking like our parents, but we die looking like our decisions. Thanks for rocking with me on The Remedy with Dr. Rani Whitfield. New episodes drop every Sunday on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, or wherever you get your audio fix. It's the Hip Hop Doc. They call me H2D. Come on, y'all. Let's get hip hop healthy. Peace and blessings. I'm out.
The content on The Remedy with Dr. Rani Whitfield is for informational purposes only and is not intended as medical advice. Always consult with your healthcare provider for personalized medical guidance. Dr. Rani Whitfield is a licensed family physician, but the information provided on this podcast should not replace professional medical consultation.